today I'm going to show you how I turn Trash Mountain into Mulch Mountain. So it starts with this, a bag full of paper trash straight from our kitchen. That includes pizza boxes, paper towels, paper plates, every type of paper trash that you might have in a kitchen. And we mow it into Trash Mountain. After I've mowed it and covered the mountain with the mowed paper, it looks super trashy. Well, what I do to avoid having a big pile of trashing up the yard is I covered it with leaves from all the fall season and the winter raking. I made it just look like a giant pile of leaves. Well, my original thought was to eventually take all this brown material and mix it with green material from fresh yard clippings that we would sweep up with our sweeper here, get all the green grass, and chicken bedding, of course. We'd get a whole nice big load of chicken bedding and mix it in with the trash and compost it. See how fast you can compost down to good quality compost when you mix in enough greens and enough chicken manure. But getting enough chicken manure and enough greens has proven to be challenging so far this season. I'm in the early springtime right now, and I needed more mulch. Now, as it is, you can see that after going through the mower, this paper is just too trashy looking still. You know, you put that all over your garden and people are going to think, wow, that's a trashy garden. It's got trash everywhere, because you can still see too much of the trash that's mixed in there with all the leaves. And it's very rough material. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought a wood chipper shredder. And I went with this model because it was apparently the only one in town that was available to pick up on the same day that you buy it. And I got it from Home Depot, Yard Max. And it says it can take up to 3-inch diameter wood, which will be great when I want to clear out my brush back here, or my hedges, little edge of my property here, and clear it out, the underbrush and stuff, and chip it up. I've already done a little bit of that, or we did a little bit of that over by the road earlier. But my main interest in getting this initially was to take this ultra trashy looking Trash Mountain and convert it to, here you go, this is it. Look at that material. Beautiful fine mulch. But it has some bits of paper in there, but they are sufficiently shredded that you can't hardly recognize it as paper. And if there is some bigger pieces that pop up here and there, they're real easy to cover up or just pick up and move out. So that your mulched garden beds, they do not look trashy. For the most part, it's all just going to be covered up in this lovely, lovely mulch, and it smells wonderful. And so I've made a nice pile of it already here. Just dumping it in, down the chute, hits the blades on full speed, spits it out here, all nice and shredded. Now down there you can see the larger pieces that got, you know, blown down on the end here, and of course we'll just separate those easy as can be. Just turn this on right here, and then you just crank it up. loosen. Gotta be real careful of that. I guess the carburetor cover, it's super, super hot. Burn you in a second. So, loosen this up real easy. That lets you move this little panel back, and you open this up right here, and then you have access to the where the blade wheel is down there. And you see all this. That is just paper mulch. Paper and leaf mulch. It's like wet sawdust, basically. So that just gets built up in there gradually on the exit chute and rubs against the wheel and slows it down more and more. So eventually, of course, you have to stop and clear that stuff out. Man, there's a lot of it in there. It's pretty easy to clear that muck out of there. Set the panel now. Tighten that back. Alright, that's good to go. Should start right up and do it again. If it gets built up down in there over time, how the heck to get that stuff out? So there's a good bit of material down there. I don't know how to get that mess out. It'll come out by itself, or it's just going to build up until it clogs the machine. But, guess I'll figure it out the hard way and just keep going and see what happens. Everything is set on these are open up, and then you gotta turn this red switch on. Okay, you get to try. Damn it. Come on, you can do it. Almost. Let it go all the way in. No, let it go all the way in. Stand over this way a little bit. Go for it. Oh, man. Oh, you got it. Time it got outright clogged up and stopped the blades from spinning. I'm a little worried about the belt. Whenever the clog stops it from spinning, the belt tries to keep on going, and it seems like it gets burnt out pretty fast. Yep, I should have unclogged it sooner. Should have pulled all that mess out sooner. It gets filled up pretty fast when you have wet mess, which of course makes sense. Alright, so I've mulched up about half of Trash Mountain. You can see it started from right around here. This is all gone pretty much. And you see it picks up the height right there. It goes out to here, so I've gone through maybe half of Trash Mountain today. That was a good bit of work, and this guy has served me well, put in a hard day's work. I'm hoping that it'll hold up to the strain, because it did start getting clogged up at the end there pretty easy, and it's got a bunch of crud down in the very bottom of it. that I broke up and clumped up so that hopefully when I restart it next, it'll just kick all that crud that's built up down here in the drum. It'll just kick it all out, hopefully. And so far this thing has been awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and put some of this mulch to good use before the day is done here. That is just awesome mulch right there. Trash and leaves and sticks and straw, or pine straw. Alright, Mulch Mountain is pretty big. Fill up the wheelbarrow with some of this. See the first wheelbarrow full. I don't know how many total I got here. Probably, I don't know, maybe 5, 10 wheelbarrow so the first place I'm going to use the mulch is on this poor, sad pawpaw tree I planted here. Pawpaw trees, native to the South, biggest fruit that grows on a tree that's native to North America, I believe. Anyways, you can see all these weeds down here. I'm just going to chop them and drop them and mulch all over the remaining stubs so that it won't grow back, or if it does grow back, it'll be very weak and easily pulled up. This whole entire area was just mulch, and these weeds have managed to get established in this mulch and need to be taken care of. Hopefully when they are taken care of, they will break down, of course, and immediately start to feed this pawpaw tree and help it to survive. I mean, it's got a lot of nice green growth on it, so it's healthy enough. I got another one over there I'll show you in a second that's much sadder than this one is. So let's get to this one. That'll do for this one for now. I think it looks happier already. Got the top of it broke off one time. That's one reason it's struggling, but it has, like I said, managed to put out some nice new leaves. So I think it's in good shape. Here's the other unbelievably sad little pawpaw. It grew some and then it died for unspecified reasons. But it's got one leaf on here. And if you look real close, you can see some spots on this branch. They're trying to bud out some other leaves. If it can survive long enough to do that. It got its top broken off, but its top was definitely dead when it was broken off. That's what kids do sometimes. The other pawpaw that is in good shape, its top was live and doing well, and then it got broken off, and I was worried about it, but it's perked back up just fine. So I gotta chop and drop all these weeds around it and mulch over it. Maybe this little guy will survive. Alright, so I spoiled that little tree, that little guy. There's that little leaf bud. So live or die, this little guy is now spoiled with this mulch and all that nice dying grass underneath. Gonna feed it some nitrogen over time. Now, if this guy does end up kicking the bucket or completely dying on me, then I have an awesome spot here to plant some other kind of tree. Maybe I'll find some more pawpaws somewhere. Pawpaw trees love semi-shaded areas. Well, they don't need a whole ton of sunlight. That's one reason I like them, because I got them next to my woods here. So maybe I'll find some more pawpaw trees if this little guy dies. Hopefully I will. Alright, so it's the next day, and I've used most of that shredded mulch from the trash mountain. And it turns out that I got 8 big wheelbarrow fulls cran full of it. I'm on the 8th one right now, actually. I'm loading it up right here. Quick observation that I thought to mention is, you know, as you get to the outer edges, a lot bigger pieces of trash than before. This is from the outer parts of the where it was getting the mulch was blowing, and this is blown farther, and now it falls through the air slower, so it falls on the outside of the pile, and so as you get to the outside parts of the pile, you get more and more pieces that are not quite as well mulched up and looks a little bit trashier, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. So here it is on one of my main paths in my garden, that mulch, and you zoom in here and see how lovely the bits of trash look. And like I said, this is the worst of it. This is the last load, the outermost parts of that mulch mountain that I was making. And I think that when it rains, it'll become less visible when it rains. But how long will it take to break down, get covered up? I don't know. You can compare it to this spot right here where I mulched all around one of my muscadine vines. You see very little paper in this one. You know, there's one little spot right there of paper, visible paper. Most of it is not noticeable. Here's one of my strawberry patches, and you see the white flowers of the strawberry plants. And this is the new mulch right here, and I don't know how good it shows up in this lighting for the camera here, but all these white bits of paper, you know, practically look like the white flowers, or initially just getting like white spots, white flowers, strawberries. It's all kind of pretty. Yeah, maybe. Alright, so that's it. That's turning trash into mulch. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.